Hello and welcome. I have a very special Inklings with my amazing friend, Michele Schwartz. It is such a joy to bring her to the call, to this experience, and to invite you to get a chance to know her. We had a very interesting way that we connected way back when. And from the moment that I experienced our connection, I knew she was another empath, an intuitive, big-hearted person like all of you listeners out there. And that's one of the things that drew me to her. And the more that I learned about Michele and how she has truly followed her heart's calling in making memories, and you'll see why I'm saying it like that in a moment, but that calling and that inspiration to make a difference in people's lives by really remembering the fact that it's the memories we look back on that create a rich and rewarding life. And Michele has done that specifically through travel and adventure and helping people get away from the ho-hum-drum of everyday life and to truly step into the magic of what it's like to be with others when we're not in our comfortable safety zone, but we're in a place where we really can go deeper in our connection. So, Michele, please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you
Oh
do.
my gosh, I don't even know how to follow that up. So thank you so much for having me. This is a huge honor. I'm like getting teary-eyed because I can't even believe I'm so honored to be invited into this community that I am a part of as a partaker. But to be actually able to give some insight and wisdom is a huge honor. So thank you for that. I am Michele, and I call myself the OG memory maker of Making Memories Travel. One of my team members is, 20 years younger than me, and she gave me that title, and it stuck. And Making Memories Travel is bespoke travel advisory travel agency, and we create bespoke memories for our clients who want to travel all over the world. In particular, I'm a specialist in theme park vacations, ocean cruises, and river cruises. And then people on my team do kind of all the other stuff like Europe, all inclusive. There are people on my team who are specialists in that.
Yeah, you're amazing. You cover so many bases, Michele. And one of the things that, really with adventures, I've always been drawn to adventures. Partially, well, a big part is because they're transformational. I think what a lot of people in this community know is that we are here for transformation. We know that there's something bigger out there in life that's calling us. And if we keep doing the things we've always been doing, just getting up every day like Groundhog Day, rinse and repeat, go to work, come home, feed the fur babies, that it's hard to experience those transformational shifts. And getting outside our everyday experience, creating a space where we can see ourselves in a different light, engage with others on a whole new level, that can make all the difference in finally having those breakthroughs. And one of the things, when I get chills thinking about it, is both what I've experienced with you in Costa Rica on the side of a volcano, as well
Hashtag transformational travel for sure.
as
Yeah.
well as one of your latest European adventures. I guess that was about a year ago, but you had to confront one of
Oh,
your largest fears ever, and you made it through with flying colors. But can you describe a little bit of that experience, like what it's like to actually travel and experience a transformation like that?
absolutely. So I think really my first transformational trip was when I graduated high school. I'm a big American history buff. And in Texas, which is where my home base is, we take American history in our junior year. And I wrote down all these fabulous places that I was studying that I wanted to visit. So, and this was pre-internet, pre-Google, like anybody remember AAA and the triptychs on road trips?
Yes. Oh
Like
my
this is how
God.
we planned this trip from Austin as our base all the way up through to the highest point where the Plymouth Rock and then back down. And we ended at Disney when Epcot was fairly new. And that was like we'd seen the US and then we were going to go around Epcot and World Showcase. And it was just a very transformational experience that I shared with my parents. And ever since then, really, travel is in my blood. One of my best friends from he's known me more than half my life, said that I belong to the Trip of the Month Club. And I really feel like that's true. Like you were talking about the Groundhog Day, the rinse and repeat. I have to get out of my zone of comfort in order to have those breakthroughs. And you talked about Costa Rica. That was
Yeah.
definitely one. I had been told by my same parents who took that transformational trip with me, road trip in my junior year. I'd always been told that I am not a camper. I don't like the outdoors. I'm not athletic. And of course, I believed it. And so
Mm.
climbing Mount Arenal, the volcano in Costa Rica, it was a really exhilarating experience for me. And I was the slowest one. The group had to help me. On the way down, I almost slipped and fell, but there were people there to catch me from our group. And
Yeah.
when I got down off that mountain and realized that I had just climbed a volcano, I literally broke down in tears. And I did something so far out of my comfort zone that I had been told that I would never be able to do. And then I accomplished it because of the group I was with. Like
Yeah.
you were a part of that group, but the people that organized that trip were so good at putting the right people in this place together. And I think that that's something that I do when I'm planning travel for others, is I really look at, and that was something they even talked to us about. It was actually about putting group trips together. That was the whole retreat, is that I'm really good at connecting people and to make experiences that are going to fulfill that same kind of thing because of the people that you're surrounded with that I got when others planned travel for me.
Yeah, and you hit upon so many really incredible pieces here. Something that really stands out is the limiting belief that was placed on you. And sometimes it's by really well-meaning people in our lives, right? They
Absolutely.
want to protect us, they want to save us from getting hurt. They're trying to help us find our way, who we are. But what so many empaths and curious seekers have experienced is that these labels have kept them stuck and playing small. So when you describe what it was like to climb that volcano, and I remember being there with you, it was transformational. Yes, I so agree. That group that was there with us, because we cheered each other on. We were all doing something that was helping us hit up against that limiting belief that we might have been carrying, or something that might have been causing fear, something that we might have been worried about. But when you have a group of people and you know you're not alone, they don't judge, but they hold space for you. They allow you to have the emotional release that's necessary. How rewarding it is to come through the other side and realize I was able to do it all along. And
Yes.
to experience that, even as an observer, sometimes can cause such a huge transformation in our hearts. And I I really feel that that's another key piece of this. It's great to travel solo at times. We go on adventures, but when we don't have somebody to share it with, it's kind of like, if a tree falls in the woods, does anyone hear it? Or do you remember it?
Yeah.
Because half the fun is reliving the experience, even the Costa Rica trip, and talking about it with you now, and the memories it brings back. And that's one of the things that got me so excited about what you're offering right now, was this transformational experience of being able um, to highlight. And I don't want to give too much away. I want to let you talk about it, but this adventure you're creating is around a pivotal piece in culture that I think opened up the conversation around a lot of taboo subjects, that enabled many
Like,
women and men too to step into a power that they were unable to do so before, that made things that might have felt shameful or we wanted to keep hidden, that we could actually have these conversations in a real and an honest and a raw way. And I know for myself, being brought up on the East Coast, and even though, is fairly liberal, it was still very conservative. Like there's certain things like, you try to like, you're like, oh, that's not polite dinner conversation. But this show helped open up the dialogue to say, no, we need to be able to to have these difficult conversations. We need to bring this to the forefront. So with that kind of little lead in, Michele, tell us more about this adventure that you've created because this is
Oh, thank you.
special.
You just gave me chills the way you articulated that. So I have put together a group of people, and we have married people, we have single travelers, solo people, all types, best friends, mother, daughter, like we've got it all. Going to Greece on a Virgin
Yay.
cruise out of Athens for 7 days this summer. And it is going to be themed, this cruise, to Sex and the City. But we're going beyond trivia, Sex and the City. We have, I can't even express how excited I am. Cindy Shupak, who was from season 2 on through the end, she was a writer and a creative behind it, and rose to the level of executive producer on the series. And I had connected with her a long time ago when we were both single, and she was obviously single when she was writing the show. But the show had ended when I actually got to meet her in person the first time. And Michael Patrick King was actually writing the movie. So that's kind of the time frame where we first connected. But she is actually the genius behind my most favorite episode, which
Oh,
is the one where Carrie um it's like take a walk in the single gal's shoes, and she has to go to a baby shower, and it's a shoe-free household, and someone takes her Manolos, and she's like, "That's $400." Like, and the hostess is like, "Well, I shouldn't have to pay for your extravagant lifestyle choices." And that just it's still one of my favorite episodes because I got married very late in life, comparatively, like past childbearing years, my first marriage. And I was always the one who went to everyone's shower, wedding, bridesmaid, baby showers, sip and seas, like you name it, I was invited to it because I'm very social, I'm an extrovert, and I love connecting with people. So I was always on the invite list, which is great flattering. But when you added up how much I had spent on all of these things, it was no small number, right? Like travel to destination wedding, like it was not a small number. And so that is really the resolution of the episode is Carrie basically goes and registers for a replacement shoes and invites only the hostess of the baby shower. And Cindy was the genius behind that. But then to top it off, we had to bring in the fashion piece, right? And so Molly Rogers, who is the lead costume designer on the series currently airing, season 3 is going to start in 4 weeks. She said she's starting production in 4 weeks on season 3 of And Just Like That. But she also worked on the original Sex and the City. She was an assistant to Pat Field, who was an icon in the fashion costume design arena. And so she's already given us styling tips for us all to take beautiful pictures in our calf cans. You have to listen to my podcast to find out her styling tips.
oh, I'll put that in the link below.
It
Yep.
will air a week from today. So you can find out styling tips from Molly Rogers. Like, wow. And the experience that I'm putting together is these people aren't going to be sailing with you, yes, but there's also going to be really intimate dinners. There's going to be a welcome happy hour that is just for people who register through me for the cruise. And then also, how many people watched that show and is like, I really need to ask that question about that.
Right.
And we have Richard Lawson, who is the chief television critic for Vanity Fair. He has interviewed both of these women on his podcast. He's going to be facilitating those conversations. And the only people, I mean, there will be other people on the ship, but the only people who get to partake in that fun stuff are going to be my group. And just like I alluded to earlier, that's my secret sauce. I'm going to put together the most fun, best group of people so that when you walk off the ship after 7 days, you are going to be like, that was one of my dreams to meet and talk to these people and meet other fans of this cultural zeitgeist that it is and was. And I'm going to be fulfilled. And that is my hope, my dream, and my mission right now. Like that is all I think about 24/7 right now. It's
Oh
hard
my
to make that
gosh,
happen.
Michelle. I mean, talk about what again stands out so beautifully is what you've created and curated. You've brought together an incredible group of experts on this show, Sex in the City, to talk about the behind the scenes, the characters. Why did they act and behave the way they did? What really made them tick? You're talking to the person who was at the core of that, one of the people. And then the fashion, how we express ourselves, and to be able to get tips like that, to feel like we're stepping into that world of Carrie or Miranda, or Samantha. Oh my gosh. It is amazing to think about because how often in life do we feel as we watch these shows, what must it be like to actually live that, because these characters
Right.
become so invested in our hearts. We really care about them. And I think that's the magic of the creators who write and who dress and who put everything together is that they really make these characters come alive because we can see aspects of ourselves in them. We can process some of the trauma and drama that we've experienced in life going through that. And what makes your adventure so different from others that I've heard is that you're keeping this a very intimate group as well. It's not
It's going to be
like it's
very
going to
intimate.
be
Right.
500 people
Nope.
and the experts that you're bringing from the show, they're not going to be on a podium. You could actually be sitting next to them at dinner, have their
Yes.
ear, and ask them all your burning
That is
questions.
correct. And I'll give a hint. You still have to come and watch what Pat Feld styling tip, excuse me, Molly Rogers styling tips. Whoops. Sorry. She's friends with Pat Field. So,
Yeah.
but she did give away when I interviewed her for my podcast that she is going to be, I said production starts in 4 weeks, right? So she is gotten an approved vacation time from production to go on this trip. And she is going to be shopping in some of those vintage stores in Greece for costumes that could be used in season 3. And she has given us all permission to traipse after her and watch her at work. Now, that
Oh,
is a curated experience that you truly cannot get anywhere else or any other time in your life. Like, I almost bawled when she told me that. Yeah, I mean, it was like,
oh my God. So you could actually go shopping with Molly Rogers. I mean, like,
you
think of
can
like
go
girlfriends
shopping with
trip to the
Molly,
extreme.
right?
Wow. To be able to see with her eye what she's drawn to. Can you imagine the excitement of being in the store with her? What it must be like, when
I
she's
cannot
looking
because
for.
I was excited just to like have her Kafka styling tips through Zoom. So I cannot
Wow.
imagine.
So
Like I'm,
right. So
yeah,
this is something that, is an experience to be able to gather your girlfriends or your significant other and, and have this romantic adventure. Because just as a side note, it shouldn't be a side note, but I feel like the adventure and the draw is really just this incredible emotional connection and bond that you get when you travel with people. But you have also chosen one of the most fun and adventurous cruise lines. I've been on it before, and it
oh,
is
that's right.
phenomenal. It's adult only, it's an adventure. And when I say adult only, I mean it doesn't have to be
It
cheap
is. It's
and
adults
risque,
only.
but
Yeah.
it's a chance for you to really be a grown-up kid and to step into a life and just really enjoy and let go of the stresses and the worries of the world. So, Michelle, where can people find out more about this?
Oh, thank you for asking. So, I am having a virtual cruise night that is on Monday the 15th. You can end your holiday weekend by coming. It's at 6:30 Central, so 7:30 Eastern. what is that, 4:30 Pacific, and you can learn even more. You'll see the ship, you'll hear all about that fine dining that you just mentioned, Irina, find out why it's adults only, 18 or up. And if you decide to book after that, then you will get some special onboard credit. And one person who attends is actually going to win $300 off of their
Oh,
cruise that I'm giving away.
what? Oh
That'll
my
be
gosh.
exciting. And so I will make sure that you have that link.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Michelle. And that'll be in the comments or the description around this video or podcast if you're listening to it. Michelle, thank you so much for coming today and allowing me to shine the spotlight on you. I've just enjoyed having you be a part of our community as well as knowing you, I feel like on and off screen.
I know. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for this. And thank you to everyone who took the time to listen about my transformational travel journey.
You're amazing. All right. Well, everyone, stay tuned for more adventures to come. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Lots of love.